Podcast with my cousin Jose Morales. We teased this on our Facebook or Instagram, I think so, like a month or two ago, and got some positive feedback. So I'm glad that we're finally here. We've always wanted to do this. It took us a long time, but 2020 has been a weird year, and we're trying new things, and this is one of the things that we're trying out, and hopefully you guys flow with it.
I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into it.
All right, so one thing we gotta talk about for sure. This is our first podcast, first topic. We gotta talk about 2020. 2020 in general has been a crazy year for all of us. I bet. We're class of 2020. We didn't even graduate, so it all felt crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like school just stopped, like that. And it just stopped, and I just went straight into the workforce. And I didn't go to school after. I'm just here cooling. I'm probably gonna go back to school later, but it's crazy though. How crazy this year has been. Definitely didn't go as planned for me.
Such a crazy year. Like, to think so many people have lost, and we've lost people, family members. We lost loved ones and stuff. Also, it's been exhausting mentally, if you think.
Everyone's suffering in their own way.
Yeah.
Some people are happy about it. I mean, for some there's moments where I'm like, you know what? I mean, sometimes it's pretty good that the pandemic happened. We learned a lot. Yeah. We learned a lot, and also if it wasn't for all this podcast wouldn't be happening right now either. Like, definitely wouldn't be happening.
Sure.
We probably would have done some financial mistakes regarding studying the wrong major or something like that in school, and I know some people do relate to that.
Oh, yeah.
And the pandemic saved a lot of us from certain things like that, and so it's kind of like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's always good things and bad things to everything, but yeah, it's crazy how the pandemic brought out a lot of things, and for me, and I bet for you too, it's bringing out a creative aspect that we've always had, and we're really trying to do some creative things right now, since
pushing our creativity to its limits. Like, I believe this year alone has been quite a year. I've learned and matured so much compared to the other years especially in high school. It made me realize, like, I wish I could go back. I regret some things, but life, right?
Yeah, it's crazy that shit ended. Like, it feels like I was just in school, like, yesterday, walking the halls, and all of a sudden I'm just here. I'm an adult. I work. I'm pretty sure most of us live paycheck to paycheck and stuff like that now.
It's a sad truth, but I mean, it is what it is. Right?
Well, it's not that. It's not. I'm not trying to make it seem bad. Like, oh yeah, we live paycheck to paycheck and we're broke. Like, no, I'm not saying in the broke aspect, but it's just like, it's crazy how we just had a routine where we woke up at 7, or I used to wake up at 7, go to school, come out of school, go to your part-time job, and come home and repeat, and then take your tests, take your finals, take all this, study.
And for just that, I remember that March. I remember we were going into spring break, and to think, I was really not into school at the moment, because beginning of the year I got hit was a little setback that really put me down mentally, and sadly my grandfather, rest in peace, he passed away due to mental health and
to the reasons, And I mean, it's not just us, I bet everyone else relates to things like that too, And just when the pandemic hits,
when it hit,
it just shook.
It shook a lot of things.
It shook the whole world.
Like, I remember first we were like, people were like, oh yay, 2 more weeks off school.
Yeah, I
was happy, and because that meant more money, more work for me. But little did I know that it was gonna be opposite. For example, for you, I don't know if you want to put this out, but you did end up kind of losing your job for a bit.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. Well, no, I didn't lose my job. We just lost a lot of hours.
Yeah,
I bet a lot of people relate to, and some people actually got laid off. Thank God I didn't get laid off.
Yeah.
But we all know that there's over 8.2 million people that filed for unemployment in the first few weeks of I forgot what month. I want to say May or something like that. I don't know.
It's wild that so much things happen, like so much restrictions and quarantine was a thing that masks were mandatory.
Yeah, it's crazy that mask is mandatory right now. Like, at first it was kind of hard to get used to. You know, I was walking around the shop where I work at. I was walking around without a mask. Everyone was walking around without a mask. Everyone had this. Also, too, everyone had this like, yeah, we're America, and the Chinese virus, as the homie Big T says, the Chinese virus. You know, everyone was like, the virus isn't gonna touch me. It's just another flu. It's another cold. So everyone was just walking around without a mask. I remember, until all of a sudden, all you see all over the news is mandatory masks, mask save lives. And I'm not saying that it doesn't, because I believe that masks, it's great that we adopted wearing masks, because it's also a hygiene thing.
But yeah, I feel like
it's way better. We should always keep this around.
In a way, it helped a lot, because now you got people really washing their hands. I'm not saying people don't wash their hands.
People didn't wash their hands.
It's just now more people are more respectful, and like, you know, people like, personally, I never like handshaking people, because who knows what people got. I'm not saying, you know, this, come on now. There's some dirty ass people out there. But like, not in a way, not to offend anyone. It's just me personally. I'd rather just give a little simple fist bump.
A fist bump, usually. I mean, I dab many people up in my life. I don't even know. I probably haven't even gone to 1 million yet, but it's crazy just how dapping someone up is a pretty touchy thing if you think about it. And now that I think about when the pandemic hit and everyone was like, yo, I'm not finna dap you up, bro, like, you probably got the virus, you know. Like, now I don't remember the last time I dapped someone up. Like actually, I don't go out at all. I just go to work and come home, so I probably don't know how it is. Like, maybe other people hang out with their friends all the time and do it, you know.
It's weird, because you gotta really like insulate yourself at home.
Isolate.
And then like, it's crazy to getting to used to that, to point, even for those people that got sick, because you got sick, right?
I was just about to talk about that. I was waiting till, you know, the conversation was gonna die a little bit, so I could just bring up how I had COVID. You know, I had COVID myself. You know, people are probably at home laughing like, bro, that nigga got COVID. You know, like, yeah, I did get COVID. I got COVID like very early.
Very early.
I was one of the first in my family, and all of us, you know. I don't know, what was it? When was it? Like,
this is around that.
No,
it was way.
Oh, I'm so dumb,
guys.
Really, it was around my birthday, so it was April. It was April.
Really
it was April, and I was one of the first people in my family with my aunt, my tia. You know, we got it at the same time, and it was so crazy because like, I always lived like, yeah, you know, fuck COVID. What the fuck is COVID? I'm too young for that shit.
Like, I remember, because we have a family group chat with all our cousins and stuff. And then just to see that, oh, Jose got COVID. Oh, he's sick. I was just like, what the heck? I couldn't believe it. At first, I was like, damn, that's tough. Oh, well. I mean, I think he's going to go through it. And to just think, like, what he told me, what he went through, made me think, like, fuck, bro. The sickness is real. It's real shit, bro. I'm gonna lie. It's
real shit. Like I believe that COVID thing, virus, affects everyone differently, and like, it was crazy. It was a crazy experience. Like, I remember being in shock when I came out positive. I was just like, dude, there's no way. You know what I mean? But then again, the first day I had the symptoms, I knew it was COVID. Like, I don't get sick normally. I exercise oftenly. I'm active. I'm not overweight. Now, I'm not saying that being overweight is bad, but like, yeah. I'm just saying, you know, bro. Like, I'm fit. You know what I mean? I work. And I'm always active. So when I felt the first symptoms, I remember I had a fever. Like, it all started off. I woke up on a day I was supposed to work at my house, work from home type shit. I woke up and I just felt this heat, bro, like burning sensation on not just my forehead, but my body. And I was like, dude, this ain't right, bro. And then I remember I tried moving out of bed and I was just like, dude, I feel so weak. I feel so so tired, like if I ran miles, bro.
No, yeah.
You know, and then right there, I just laid myself down again. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just sleep and wake up and hope for the best. I woke up and I was still sick. And then I remember I was just like, you know what, a day passed. And, you know, I went to get tested. I was like, dude, I know I have COVID. Like, it's obvious. And I came out positive. And I wasn't even surprised. The only thing that was crazy is I believe that it depends who you are as a person. But if you have, like, some sort of anxiety or some sort of, like, overthinking habit, I feel like COVID hits you different. Because it makes you overthink like a motherfucker, bro.
I remember, for me, I got COVID in a way in the beginning of August.
But you didn't get tested, though.
That's the thing.
You just thought you had... You know your body, so you were like...
Low-key,
probably have COVID.
I probably could have had it, but in a way, I was kind of scared to think I had it. Because, you know, one, I'm risking being around the people I love, right? And I don't want to get people that sick. And what I realized, that shit's so fucking draining.
Yeah,
so draining.
Like, I've never felt such a...
Like, I never felt so sick and tired. And, like, everything hurt. I just was tired.
It's the fatigue that just blows you away. That's what blew me away, because I've never felt that fatigued in my life. Like, and then I started having, like, my lungs started to hurt, bro. But once you start feeling shit like that, that's when you really start tweaking. Like, I was starting to think, like, dude, like, I had to sleep on my side in order to feel like airflow. I feel like if I personally feel like it was mostly like a mental thing, and I was probably losing the battle at the time. But it was crazy, you know. Thank God that we're young. I believe that it wasn't that crazy for me. It was crazy in a mental aspect, but because I did get, like, you know, you get sad, you know.
Oh yeah. Because
you're in your room by yourself. I was in my room by myself, and I didn't see sunlight for like 2 weeks, which was the worst thing you could do. My advice is always go outside, even if you have COVID right now, or you don't have COVID yet, you're gonna get it soon. When you get it, my advice is get the sun, get that vitamin D, like, go outside and feel the sun, because I legit
get that fresh air.
I went 2 weeks, I got better, and I was like, I still feel like shit. I told my mom, I was like, dude, I just came out negative. I came out negative, and everyone was happy, like, yeah, you're good. And I'm like, bro, I feel like shit still, bro. So it was a sunny day. Thank God it was summer. No, wait, was it? Yeah, it was summer, because it was May already. Some bullshit. I don't know. But I was like, I didn't go outside. So I remember I went outside and I sat down on my porch with a book. I absorbed the sun for like, I don't even know, like 30, 40 minutes. Good while. I came inside and I just felt different. I felt energy. I felt like, dang, my skin was just feeling like good again.
It's like
it was radiating energy.
A new feeling. After being inside for a long while. It's crazy. It feels so good getting that hit of air. It just...
Because we love being outside.
Oh, yeah. Since we were young, I remember...
I love being out there.
I remember we would always go outside running just to play random sport. We pick up any ball and we start playing.
Exactly.
And to this day, we still do that. Like, I could go outside and we could chill outside for like hours and hours.
It's always cool to chill outside. Like, it's probably the best thing. But I don't mind chilling inside either, you know. Here in the lab, it's a pretty cozy place, so I just be chilling in here, you know. But that vitamin D is...
Another thing that really helped a lot for my mental was driving.
Driving? Oh my gosh. Like,
driving was such... And it's so funny, though, because I remember when you told me that time you got COVID, it's a time when, you know, me, you, as a fan, After Hours came out.
Oh, yes.
Many people may not know, we're some big Weeknd fans. And that album hit at the right time.
After Hours saved 2020. In that moment, I remember, because I had COVID. It was my second day of COVID when the album dropped. The project, man. You know, it dropped. And I was like, dude, I felt like someone just listened to my prayers, man. First thing I remember, I woke up, from a COVID nap, and then I checked my phone, and I was like, dude, he's supposed to. I got a notification from Spotify, and I was like, dude, let's run it. I remember I turned off all the lights. I'm dying from COVID, and then I was just like, dude, this is so amazing. How he teased us with the music videos, the Jimmy Kimmel Live, all this, dude.
Oh, yeah. It was really
someone needs to tell me how he didn't win Grammys.
Oh, yeah, that's just some bull.
He got so robbed.
That's bogus, man.
I can't think of any other artist that impacted 2020 like he did, honestly, because...
But...
who, bro? Doja Cat, bro. Doja Cat.
Freaking Megan Thee Stallion. I have no hate towards them.
Oh, wait,
I respect...
Megan Thee Stallion one?
Or one of them.
Some woman, bro, one.
I got nothing against. I respect the grind. Keep going. Keep saying you play. Bro, come on. No one can say that. The Weeknd say that.
Abel did it.
He did it, bro.
How the heck? When did... Who is it? Doja Cat? Megan Thee Stallion? Who is it, bro? Whatever woman who won. How did she save the pandemic? How? Just explain how. You know what I mean?
I just feel like
I don't understand
the Grammy is just something.
It's all rigged. It's all rigged.
But at the end of the day, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I don't get money from it, so it doesn't matter. But I would have loved to see Abel get the credit he deserves.
He deserved it. It really deserved. The visuals are amazing.
The visuals, the production, dude,
everything was. Oh, and to think that his concert was delayed.
Yeah, everyone's concert was delayed.
Everyone's concert was. That's so crazy this year.
I bought 5 tickets for that thing, bro. I spent over a lot of money, a lump sum of money on that concert. And everything's delayed, so it's kind of dumb, but. Other than that, 2021, everyone says it's gonna be the year. Hopefully, it's the year, man, because 2020 was not it, man.
Gotta go optimistic and
but
just hope
there's so much good out of 2020.
Oh yeah.
We cannot be negative about it. Yes, I mean, during the whole pandemic, the lockdowns and all that stuff. Yeah, it was crazy. Everyone was just what the heck is going on? And then shit, it was just crazy. The thing, as you said, getting laid off. Getting your hours cut because of COVID. That sucks.
It really sucks. And it sucks especially for those, because I know there's a lot of heartbreakers. And those for that help, family. As is for me, I tend to help my mom pay bills and stuff. And it sucks because going down from 40 plus hours to just going to 25, it left to what? Why? It's so crazy that I would look at my checks. I'm like, bro, what is this?
No kidding. No. I only worked one Saturday every 2 weeks, so I basically only worked 2 days a month. But I only did that for 1 month though, and then I got COVID, so I obviously had to be on quarantine.
See, but that's just so.
Yeah, it's crazy. That was crazy because I was blown away because I was like, dude, I went from working here every single day. I work every day at my job, right? At the time, I was working every day too, and from that to go from that, to 1 day, 2 days a month, dude, what? So and then at the time, I didn't have the lab, which is my room.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have it set up. I just had a mattress on the floor. My mattress is still on the floor, but we have. IKEA furniture now, guys. We make it out. That's why I call it the lab.
It's crazy that also this year, I matured not only in mind, but everything.
Everything. You also get adulting. What a year to become an adult.
Right off the bat, for us, class of 2020, not to enjoy our graduation, and to just hop into the real world right away.
To the point where you just forget about the graduation. Forget.
I don't remember. I forgot I got a diploma.
Yeah, but I have my diploma hanging in my room. It's crazy. I received it from people with masks at a parking lot. Just if it was drugs. And it's funny. It's so funny.
I would look at it. I looked at it and I just laughed.
It's so funny.
I looked at it. I was like, that's all. That's all my hard for years of school just for me to walk to a parking lot to get it.
Hey, to all the people class 2020 that's listening out there, dude, when you get the email to saying, because you know how we got like 2-3 emails like postponing it, and then they were like, okay, in August for sure we're gonna have it.
I've never been so played in my life.
And then we got the email. Remember?
It's just so worse than a girl.
We got the email I think it was 3-4 days ago before the actual graduation ceremony, for us, for at least Omaha Brian. I remember getting the email and I read it and I was like, dude, what's going on? And then it was like, due to COVID, blah blah, canceling graduation ceremony. We want to wish you guys a bright future. And I was like, yo, hold up. You're not gonna tell me that this is it. You know what I mean?
It's so crazy because they kept postponing it. They're saying, oh, we're gonna graduate in the summer.
And then in that email, they just say like, they won't be able to reschedule it. Like, not even till after the pandemic. And I'm just like, bro,
why?
You know, if y'all were cool, you know, at least just wait till after the pandemic. You know, I mean, yeah, who knows when the pandemic's gonna end, you know, but still though, you know, I mean, fuck it though, whatever. It's fine.
And then, overall though, after all that, just for me, because I went into college right after.
You were in college
during the summer. During the summer, I did take a couple classes, and that was different. That was really different for me. Like, just to doing Zoom calls, from going to normal classes, everyday classes, to Zoom calls was so weird to me.
Especially for your major.
Exactly. Especially when you go into like construction management, or that type of field, it's weird. You're just like, you lose focus, and then you start realizing like, bro. Like, there's times I feel like I don't. This is pointless, but I feel like once COVID starts getting away, and then they start letting people in more open classes, I feel like it'll get better.
Yeah,
it's just so weird for us right now, for those that have online classes, because some people can't learn through online.
No,
to save their lives.
Like, you hear about that one headline about the elementary kid that supposedly went suicide because he had or he would try to go suicide because he couldn't learn online. An elementary kid, you know what I mean?
Especially, it's not. I feel they should have just waited it out till the next year.
When it comes to in person and online, my personal opinion is just have it all online. You know, why take the risk of having it in person?
Because I remember when they said that we're going to go back in school, everyone...
They still are.
Right away, that first week of school, a teacher got sick.
Yeah.
I remember hearing on the news, teachers already getting sick.
And you hear from other people,
or
too.
Other states.
You hear from people.
Already like 10 people got COVID. I was like, why? How?
Like, there was like 60 something elementary kids at the elementary school here that all got COVID, including teachers and staff. And I'm like, dude, they're little kids. You know, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're just gonna make them stay 6 feet apart, you know? Like,
wear masks. It doesn't work.
In high school, I mean, thank God I was never in high school during this. I was, but, they just ended it for us. But if I was in person right now or something like that, it wouldn't be it. I'd be online. Online, me personally, I feel like I would like online, but I can't really say much because I haven't had school online yet.
It's not bad. Cause in a way, you're not only struggling, but the teacher is too. Cause it's new for the teacher too.
Yeah, teachers be stressed.
Dude, teachers really go through it, man.
Teachers be stressed.
I even feel bad.
Shout out to teachers, you know. I mean, I think we've pissed off a few teachers in our time, many. And when I think back to it now, I'm like, damn, like, fuck, you know. I hope that person doing good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because teachers be having a lot of health complications too. You know, like, I mean, that's just my experience.
They got their own lives too, man.
Because I've heard of. I mean, when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher had cancer, all this shit, and like, growing up, I just thought like, damn, teachers are just always sick. Like, even they may be in class teaching you, but they may have diabetes or their heart failure or they have something in the background and what's it called? underlying health condition. Oh my gosh, what a COVID term right there. You know what I mean? You know, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and then now that I'm older, you know, obviously the teachers are older too, you know, and so they're all getting old, and
they're getting old.
And it's just bad, you know. It's just sad because we're adults now, you know. We're adults. It's crazy. We're adults recording a podcast. I mean, I'm 18.
19. Just turned 19.
So we're still teenagers, I guess. But I mean, you know what? We're just human beings. I don't know what we are at the end of the day. Aliens, whatever. But it's crazy. 2020, you know, we just summed up the first few months. So, what would you say about the ending? This podcast is recorded on the 30th. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Tomorrow's our last day of 2020. How do you think we end off 2020? How do you think we ended it?
To me personally, I feel I ended strong, but I feel there's little things I could have fixed.
There's some things that were left on the table. You know what I mean? You left some things out.
Which is okay.
I feel like everyone relates to that, actually.
Yeah, but I feel like it's okay because that's the point, right?
That's the point.
Every year is, it's a start, and then at the end you just realize you left some things off. And I feel like you shouldn't beat yourself over that. Just next year's a new year. Or, for example, like tomorrow's a new day.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was the past. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just start again.
People
don't understand and just beat themselves up just because they did bad one day.
Mm-hmm. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier, you know, I feel like one thing I'm trying to get better at is I'm not trying to be like, there's this mindset where you're like, you know what, next year I'll be better at this, or oh, if I failed this year, man, next year, you know, or the vibe of new year, new me, the philosophy behind that and all that stuff. I always think that's wrong, and I feel like we should think that every day. I live by that every day you need to be a better person of what you were yesterday. You know?
Oh, yeah.
A better version than you were yesterday, you know. Right now, we are better versions than we were yesterday. Definitely. We took the big plunge. We took the risk with this podcast. And we're seeking a reward from it. Because in life, you get rewards from taking risks.
Like, as I see it, I feel there's more of this podcast more for, like, my personal use.
It's more like a personal use, and we're putting it out there just in case someone's out there.
Because I know there's people that relate, and if you have anything to say, just let us know.
Let us know. You know, I'm always here for anyone.
I'm down to put people's stories out. You know, I want to be that voice for people that can't talk, you know?
Anyone that's listening right now could listen to a podcast like, let's say, Joe Rogan, or, I mean, I know Kevin Hart has his own podcast. People like that have podcasts. We all know that, you know? And then they have famous people on, like I don't know, like, I don't know why I was going to say Lady Gaga. She's just famous. I don't know.
No, yeah.
But, you know, let's just say Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, you know, comes on to a podcast of Joe Rogan or a famous guy, and then you're listening to it and you're like, wow, so deep, so inspirational, you know, nice podcast. But then again, they're just people so far away from you. Like, these people that I just said their names, they're like 20 years old, 30 years older than us, 40 years old. Like, they're old. Some of them are in their 50s already, you know? But what podcast is out there that you could relate to and feel a certain inspiration and motivation and anything you want to feel from this podcast? I don't know. But what podcast is out there where you could feel those things, but they're your age? They're people just like you. I always believe, you know how people say, if you like those famous people on YouTube and shit, they're like, I'm just like you, you know, I'm just like you. Hopefully you guys relate, you know. But in reality, especially the teenagers, it's hard to reach out to teenagers if you're not a teenager yourself.
Oh yeah.
I believe that. There's a certain perspective. I mean, that's just because I'm a teenager. And if some old rich guy came up to me saying a bunch of stuff, like there's an old man at work that talks a whole bunch of inspirational stuff to me. And I take it, you know, I appreciate him and everything. It's amazing. He's an amazing person.
Yeah.
But then there's a certain thing about it, you know, how we were talking about. There's a certain thing about getting advice or anything like that from an older person. Because this guy is like 70. He told me he's like 78. 78.
Their views are different.
They come from a different lifetime and all this, and it's just hard for me as an 18-year-old to just wrap my head around what he's trying to teach me, you know? Because a lot of the things they say, we know. We hear this in school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And it doesn't also, yeah, you and me are like a little bit more open-minded compared to others. I don't want to say there isn't people I like that. It's just we're open to more things. And people think differently, and people are smarter in their own way, and you know, so and so. But like you said, yeah, I feel like older people, when they try to give advice, it's more like advice they've been told from a long time.
I feel like it's more like a general advice to a general group of people. You know what I mean? And they're not. It's not that they're stubborn, but it's also hard for them to wrap their head around our generation. I feel like our generation is crazy. Like, our generation is so... It has never been seen before, you know what I mean? And I was telling this to the old guy at work. His name is Ed, actually. His name is Ed. You know, I was telling him how... Because he was telling me how there's a lot of kids my age that... Because that's what he does. He told me he used to work at like a place in Boys Town. Boys Town is a place for people who are troubled or whatever. You know, have a bad past, or they just end up there, you know, whatever. And he was telling me how he used to work with the kids like that, you know?
Yeah.
And he realized that all the kids, mostly boys, they would look at him and just be like, "You're talking nonsense," you know? They were so ignorant.
Yeah.
And then he was asking me, why are people like that? Why are people your age like that? And I told him, first off, it's not all of us, you know?
Yeah.
It's not all of us. Sadly, I feel like it's a trend to be ignorant.
Yeah.
But it's not so much of a trend either, because people don't try to be ignorant. They just are.
Yeah.
Without even trying. Without even thinking. They have like no consciousness.
It also comes
of how they're coming off.
It comes because of their own personal stuff.
Their own personal stuff.
But
too.
I do believe that throughout my people I know have become like really... They don't like hearing things. That they want to hear things they like instead of things that could help them. And I feel just it doesn't help them think. It's an unhealthy mindset, you know?
It's an unhealthy mindset. The crazy thing is the fact that they don't know what they're doing. They don't hold themselves accountable for certain things.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's just a toxic culture, you know, that people are having our age. A lot of people nowadays also think they're alpha males. Like, they have an alpha male mentality, you know, where, oh yeah, if I do this and I'm the only one doing it, then I'm automatically the best at it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's good to believe in yourself. It's good to gas yourself up and have your ego, you know. Go after it, you know. I believe in that.
But I do believe that there's a bad ego.
There's a bad ego. There's some people that try to bring down others for doing it, and there's jealousy, you know. There's a lot of things, and this is mostly relates to the business world, and obviously in sports and everything too. But it's very crazy, you know. But we're all young. When you're young, you have a lot of energy. You have a lot of ego. You think everything's gonna go well for you, you know. Not saying that it won't, but there's gonna be a lot of bumpy times in life, you know, and they're gonna have to realize, you know, and because you know how everyone now, they may have their nice things and all this stuff, but I always think, like, give it 5 or 10 years, you know. We're 18, 19 now. Give it 5 or 10 years and see where they're at, you know. See who followed through, you know what I mean? Because life is gonna get hard regardless. Life is always gonna be hard
as you get old. Yeah.
And if it's not hard, then you're comfortable. You know what I mean? You're just straight up comfortable, and being comfortable is a scary place to be. You know what I mean?
Because if you're too comfortable, then you're not. In a way, you're not trying.
If you're too comfortable, you're content with what you have. Yeah. And not saying that it's bad to.
And I believe everyone could do better.
Everyone could do better. Yeah. There's always room for improvement, but what I'm saying is, when you get comfortable, it's like you sit down in the chair and you're tired, you know, and you'll be like, you know what, I've done enough in life. You sit down, you get comfortable, and you could get caught lacking. You're flat-footed, you know what I mean? Let's say, like, someone passes away, or one of your sources of incomes are taken away, and you're just left with almost nothing, you know? And you have to work from scratch. You have to start from scratch again, you know what I mean? And it caught you lacking so hard. You were like, dude, I just had everything, this and that, you know? I was just getting comfortable. I was just about to take a vacation. I just got this, I just got that, you know? And that's because you got too comfortable. You were like, yeah, this is all I need. I'm happy here, you know? And when that happens, something could just come and just wipe you out. Like nothing, wipe you off your feet, you know? You weren't anticipating it. You always gotta anticipate, you know? You know, what do they say? They say, pray, where does it go? How does it go? Pray for the best, prepare for the worst, or something.
Yeah,
some
yeah,
stuff like that.
I've heard it.
I don't keep those things in my head, you know.
I see what you mean. Yeah, no, I get you.
It's facts.
Cause it's true. It's really true. A lot of people really get comfortable at where they at. And later, you know, for example, COVID hit.
Yeah. Then this is all related to 2020.
COVID hit, and then people were like, "Oh, shit."
Everyone was like, dude.
Shit.
Yeah, like getting your hours cut, stuff like that. Like,
and then
I was not prepared for
the majority of the people in like everywhere around the world don't have an emergency.
My emergency fund.
Yeah.
I was just about to bring up an emergency fund because when you get your hours cut like that, or you lose your job, especially during a pandemic, it's hard to get another job.
Exactly.
It's hard to get another job.
It's really hard.
It's hard. And you know, and if you don't have an emergency fund, you're just like, dang, where am I gonna get money now? Like I spend the last few checks eating food, buying clothes, paying this, paying that, you know, and now I'm here with nothing. Thankfully, I had money for at least a month, and when I had my COVID quarantine, whatever, it was like 2 weeks, 16 days, some bullshit, you know. When I had that, I had my money. I had like 2 checks saved up. So I just cruised, you know. I bought all the after hours merch.
But it's scary that people are not prepared for stuff like that.
You see, but I also believe that you can't be prepared for everything either.
Oh no,
it's impossible. Like I cannot prepare right now. Okay, so we had a snowstorm here. I didn't prepare for that.
No.
So how am I gonna be? You can't be prepared for everything. So I can't be prepared for that, and also be prepared for a hurricane or the next pandemic or the next virus or the next. You know, I'm not. You can't be prepared for everything. You know.
It's more like just playing it safe and just making sure you have something. What's that saying? Being sorry.
Better late than sorry.
Yeah.
Better late than sorry. I don't even know.
In a way, it's like that.
Something like that. You know? But, yeah, dude, like 2020 just exposed a lot of people, including myself.
Oh, yeah.
Including you. You know, it exposed all of us. It made... There was moments where you're just like, I didn't know that about myself. Like, dude, like, that's such a flaw. I need to fix this. You know what I mean? That's what I realized. I realized, especially a lot of us who spent a lot of time home, obviously because of the pandemic, but let's say home with your parents.
Yeah. Big one.
I know a lot of people relate to this.
It could get really toxic.
It could get toxic. How before you were home, before the pandemic, you were always at school, you were always at work. You were only home just to sleep. So you didn't have to deal with your parents. You were becoming a independent person, you know what I mean?
Like we love our parents, but
we all love our parents.
One of your biggest people to put you down is your parents.
I feel like your parents could hold you back to a certain extent.
Don't get me wrong, there's great parents out there. I'm not saying my parents are bad.
I'm not saying mine are bad.
It's just to an extent they really push your buttons. Sometimes
they do some unnecessary things, you know, but then again, us as sons, you know, and kids, we sometimes realize later after the disasters, we realize, dang, you know, I should have never said this, I should have never done that, or maybe I did this wrong with my mom, my dad, you know, and we realize later, you know, so it's fine.
Which is, forgive us. And just don't take that as a bad thing either. hey, at least you realize it. But if some people just don't realize it, that's why a lot of people end up moving out at a young age or just leaving their parents.
I was actually one of them. I was one of those people that tried to move out at a young age, you know. And to those whoever's listening about moving out, what do you think? What's a good age to move out?
I feel like once you hit that 18 mark or 19 mark,
you feel like it's time.
You feel like if you're ready and you have the money and you feel like you can do it, I say go for it.
Go for it, huh?
Don't hold yourself back to think, oh, my mom's gonna be sad. This, because really, what you're doing is proving them wrong. I feel. It's your turn to maintain yourself. Because if you don't do it now, let's say things happen. You know, anything can happen. And what if those people are not here? Who's gonna take care of you?
That's true.
And I feel like whenever you get the chance, go for it. Just make sure you can do it.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in debt or something like that. You know. Play safe.
Yeah.
If you can stay home as much as you can, stay home.
If you could. Yeah. You actually told me this.
Yeah.
Right. You were the one that told me this. You were like, if you could stay, then yeah, I would stay. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just stay. If you could stay, whoever's listening, just stay. You know, it may be toxic, but there will be times where you do get your peace and quiet. And if there isn't no time where you get peace and quiet, at least you could get it somewhere else, you know?
But then also, too, what you don't realize, I think I heard people tell me before that there's a point that they miss it. They miss that little noise or that someone being there.
You miss your mom, like, walking in after work, you know, even though she would get mad at you. You just miss that feeling of someone being present.
Yeah, and it hits.
It hits.
It can hit.
It hits. I thought about that too when I went apartment hunting. I stand there, you know, obviously in an empty place.
Yeah.
And if I were to move out, I believe I'm a minimalist. Mm-hmm. So I don't really go crazy on decorating places or anything like that. So if I were to move out, I'm the type of person. I know there's memes out there about guys, you know. I'm the same type of person where I would just have a TV on the ground,
like that little
in the living room, and that's
TV,
it.
A chair,
that's like a lawn chair, and that's it. You don't need anything else.
Or like that little meme of a guy's happiness is just little pizza rolls and a beer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's if you think about it in a way, you're really saving money.
You save money being a minimalist, but if you like decorating, like let's say you like putting paintings, I would love to put paintings and put posters and stuff like that. But like if you guys were to see the lab, you know, it's so basic. It's like
simple.
There's one theme, which is usually it's dark oak, black and white. That's the theme I'm trying to go with because I feel like those are like my favorite type of colors. But that's all I need. That's really all I need. I got a bed, I got a desk, I got a dresser, I got a TV, you got the Xbox, you know, and soon have a computer set up, you know, and that's all I need, you know. There's people out there that want a lot, they need a lot, and if that's you, then that's good.
For those people that, I feel like for the people that like a lot of things or have, it's more like they like the clutter.
They like the clutter
because they're isolated. They're like they feel you
feel more at home, like hoarders.
Yeah,
you know how hoarders.
That's why, like, yeah, if you ever watch like Hoarders, they say like
Hoarders is an old show.
They start crying because they're throwing their things away.
They cry because people come in like, you need to take all this out. You got 1 million eviction notices, boy. Like, you gotta get rid of a lifetime supply of trash, and like stinky food and shit.
But the thing is, it's sad to see.
It's sad because it's a disease. It's a mental disease. That's crazy. Everything's a mental disease in 2020.
It's like I said, dude. It's been
like some people say if you're too driven or too ambitious,
it's a sickness.
It's a sickness.
It's crazy to think.
Toxic positivity is a thing,
but it's true.
It's crazy how everything's a sickness. If you're too happy, people will assume there's something wrong with you, bro. Like, you're always happy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
people start assuming, oh, you're doing drugs, you're doing this, or you're doing something sketchy. You can't do nothing with anyone assuming something.
There's always gonna be people that assume things. There's people that assume things.
And that's good. To me, I feel like that's good because then they're curious. Why are you curious over?
You could. We like it because it's a chance to prove people wrong.
Yeah,
You know?
and that was always a big thing of me and you, that we always said, all right, when we grow up, bro, we're gonna prove people.
We're gonna prove people wrong.
And so far, we've been doing it.
This podcast is proving people wrong. Whoever's out there that knows me personally and knows you personally, I've been under a rock for a while. We've been under a rock, and at least now you guys could. It's not. I'm not acting like you guys want to or need to hear me or anything, but it's. I think if I were to see us in the third person perspective, I would think this would be cool.
Yeah.
Because I think we did a good job wiping our faces off the face of earth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like school, it was only school that was the only thing that had us in public. After that, we just disappeared, and now we're coming back because I believe that people need to hear a few things.
And I believe there's people that I want to hear things from too.
I want to hear things from people too.
Coming from their views of life, or
another thing that 2020 did is I feel like a lot of people embrace other people's opinions now.
Yeah, and that's
a lot of things.
It's really cool how actually
really cool.
A lot of people like, hey, I feel the same. This and that. A lot of people are connecting more because of 2020.
Because of everything that's just been happening. You know what I mean?
Because people are like, it's been a sad year.
Like, hey, I just lost my job. I'm looking for a job. There's someone out there like, yeah, me too. But I found this one place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Like, this year, for example, the riots.
The riots.
People got together.
I was at the first riot on 72nd.
People got together, and that's when you finally saw people united.
Guys, I was at the first riot for Black Lives Matter. And I remember I went to go get Chick-fil-A, and I was so lost on why there's so many. Like, I was there from the start.
Yeah.
The start. Like, there was only 3 people because there's a long ass line at Chick-fil-A, bro. Like, that line was to the street, bro. So I was there for like 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And they all started off with 3 people holding signs. And I drove past on my way to Chick-fil-A. I'm hungry, And I'm like, damn, is that the protest? Bro, tell me why when I'm done with Chick-fil-A, I'm trying to leave. And, bro, the streets are full with people. And I'm like, dude, there's no way I could get out. So I just stopped and I parked my truck because I have a truck. I put down the tailgate and I just watched. I watched it all happen. I was eating. I think it was a chicken deluxe, whatever, fire. Yeah. I was munching my chicken deluxe, staring at just history happening, bro. I wish I was a photographer at the time.
It felt so cool because I feel it's like looking back at history books. When you would see pictures of riots, all black and white, and to see that in real life now in 2020 for the same thing.
2020, bro.
It's just amazing how that works.
Dude, like, it was
a lot of people got united for it.
It's amazing to see it.
A lot of things, bad things happened too, which, whatever, right?
It was crazy to see it because I saw 3 people turn into like 1,000, and 1,000 turned into 5,000.
Yeah.
I think it was 5,000, the max, something like that. I don't even know, man. Fact check me if you want, but I was just
a lot of people.
It was a lot of people. So much people that the streets were closed, and I was just cops everywhere.
So much cops.
Everywhere.
So much cops.
And I'm just trying to eat Chick-fil-A, man, and I'm just staring out this abyss of people, and I'm just like, dude. Like I told you earlier, I wish I was a photographer at the time. I would have had some nice pics for myself to look at. Now, I don't have any pictures to look at. That sucks, because back then I didn't believe in taking pictures,
For people that are into that, I feel like this year has been so
beautiful. 2020 has been a year for creative people in general. Yeah. YouTubers, they've faced adversity. People who have blogs, people who have everything. People with blogs.
Their views has gone up because there's people that are interesting.
Because people are home. People are interested. They're curious. Yeah. That's also, an origin of this podcast. J2J, is maybe our first podcast. And it would have never happened if it weren't for the pandemic, like I told you, And it's crazy. It's amazing. And I believe that everyone out there who's listening should try to at least pick up something, I know a lot of people too, bro, that were good artists and they didn't pick up the pen or the acrylic or whatever they were painting on, the oil pastels, until now.
Yeah.
After years of not doing it.
Exactly.
They're like, you know what? I'm on quarantine. I might as well bring it back. And
there's people that brought out their
amazing.
creativity out again.
And people are back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're one of them, no?
Yeah.
You have an artistic talent.
I used to always like drawing, painting and stuff. And I stopped for a while because
you stopped for a long time.
I'll be honest, I lost the creativity. I didn't feel like I didn't know what to draw. I would pick up a pencil and
that was me.
I wouldn't know.
Because during life before the pandemic, I feel like everyone was so robotic. Like we were in a robotic state of mind.
Like we were bland.
We were so simple. It was only school, work, repeat. Well, I played soccer. We played soccer. So it was gym, whatever you want to do, that's an extra hobby or anything. It's school, work, and that. You know what I mean? And that's all you do. Those 3 things take up your whole day. And even night maybe, because you have to stay up for certain things. And dude, I feel like we were just robot mentality. Like we were just on we were on, what was it called, autopilot? We were on autopilot, like straight up,
just going through the same thing over and over again.
And we weren't and creativity was just going down. And now with this pandemic,
like I remember in my art class my stuff started getting boring. Like I was like, what is I didn't even like my art anymore. And then, but, this year's, it brought a lot out from everyone,
Yeah, dude.
Creativity for sure. For me. For you and me. Like, who knew? Because you and me always knew, like, we love to talk. And there's a lot of people that like to hear us talking. And we just like, hey, man, this is why we made this podcast. And I feel like it's important for both of us to contribute and show what we got, right?
Show what we got. And like what you said about we love to talk, that's just as plain as simple as it could get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love to talk in school. And it's crazy because I don't know if you relate, but I grew up a shy kid.
Yeah.
Super shy kid. Like I felt like any word that I said, I was gonna get roasted. I was gonna get.
I remember it. I would stutter a lot. I would lose my train of thought and just be like, I'll be like, fuck.
And even before this podcast, when we were taking the retakes or whatever, dude,
it's not easy.
The podcast you're listening to right now, we had to redo it like I don't know how many times because
it took us an hour to start.
I think it was an hour. Yeah. I was stuttering even, and I'm just like, it feels weird to talk to a microphone, you know what I mean? It feels weird, but now it just feels normal. That's why, with whatever you're doing in life that feels different, you'll get used to it. Your body and your mind will adapt to it if you're open to it, you know?
And if you actually go for it, try it.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a lot of people like, dude, I want to do this. I'm like,
I know.
Go for it.
People tell me that too.
But there's just something holding us back always. I'm just like, what's holding you back? And they're just like, I'm shy. I don't know if I would create anything to make. I'm like, you got nothing to lose.
It's like before when we were doing the takes of the podcast, the retakes or whatever, we were thinking too much on the podcast and the actual microphone here and everything that we were not talking like we normally talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It felt fake.
It felt for
a second. I felt like I was like, damn, now I found like I'm reading the script.
Yeah. Just.
And then we just we fixed everything, and then we're like, you know what, fuck it.
Just fuck it. We're gonna act like the camera's not here. We're gonna act like the microphone's not here. We're gonna act like nothing's here, and we're just gonna talk like we normally talk. Like another reason for the podcast. Oh, damn, there's so many reasons for this shit. But anyways, another reason for the podcast is we used to talk in school, me and you, as human beings, as cousins, as bronums. And other people would listen on the outside. And when you would leave, or when I would leave, but when you would leave, people would come up to me and be like, you guys just had a fire conversation. I heard that from over there. And I was just like, I'm over here like all embarrassed, like, oh, you heard that, who knows what we were talking about, and then they would be like, dude, I believe that you guys would be good for like, I don't know, acting or something. Like, I'm not an actor, I don't want to be on stage dancing, like, I don't know, I'm not that, but I'm just saying, like, people would say like, dude, it would be cool if you guys were like out there, you know, put your conversations out there because it's pretty cool.
And it's so crazy though, because we talk like that in public and shit. But when it comes to a fucking presentation at school, I'd fucking fold.
You'd fold?
I'd fold, but then once I start getting comfortable, that's when I start flowing and start saying that shit. It's that first step.
It was the same thing with this.
It's that first step. Yeah, it's that first. You gotta take that first step. Because if you don't take that first step, you're just gonna keep walking.
You have to take the first step, and the rest will follow.
Yeah.
If you take the first step, overthinking the second step won't come. That's basically it. That's how life is. Whatever you do in life, that's how it's gonna be. You just have to take that first step through the door. After that, the next steps will come. You know. Yeah. But if you take your first step already thinking about the fifth step, then you're not gonna make it. You know what I mean?
Because you're just thinking about the future, not what's in front of you.
You have to think about the present. You have to think like, what's going on right now, and how am I gonna fix this? How am I gonna overcome this? You know what I mean?
To get to that point where you want to be.
To get to your goals, basically.
Or another thing, people like to compare themselves to others. How are you gonna compare to someone you're not? You're never gonna get there because you're not that person.
And that's another reason for the podcast. You see, I should be making a list of this, but I don't take a list.
But that's the point of these episodes, that we're just gonna go through topics.
But that's but hold on. I gotta finish this because before I forget about it.
Go ahead.
That's another reason for the podcast, because what you said, a lot of people like to compare themselves to other people and they want to be like other people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people tell me that what the Jose's that they saw in high school and middle school and probably even elementary, whatever. You know, who remembers me from elementary? You know what I mean? Yeah. But the people would tell me, like, what they think of us. I always was interested in asking people, what do you think of me? You know? Sometimes it was really good things. Sometimes it was really bad things, you know? But it was always crazy. What all those opinions had in common was they were nowhere near close to who we are.
Yeah.
And no matter how close the person got to us, they never understood who we are, no matter what. That was my thing. One part of me did not want the world to know who I am. The other part of me wanted them to know, like, snippets of who I am. You know what I mean? And
it's always been like that. Like,
it's always been like
everyone, that. No one knows their stories behind the closed doors, right?
Mm-hmm. Behind the scenes.
Yeah. Behind the scenes of everything.
There's a lot behind the scenes.
It seems like we might be one of the, like we do nothing, like everything, like nothing. But in reality, you know, some of us got work freaking doubles, daily jobs. Mm-hmm. Some of us sometimes don't even work, or sometimes, you know, there's a lot that goes in me. There's family, personal family stuff, you know, stuff like that. It's like, I know, I'm not saying you and me are like any different to anyone else.
Yeah, we're not.
But I do believe we're unique.
We are unique. Everyone is. Everyone is. But there's something about us. I mean, what two guys is gonna sit in front of the contraption that we're sitting in front right now to talk? You know what I mean? It's not just anyone, because I used to hang out with a lot of people back then. You used to hang out with a lot of people back then. And one thing that a lot of people have in common nowadays is they're also closed-minded.
Yeah.
And they're stuck on one thing, on one perspective and one vision. Like, yeah, I'm gonna grow up and hustle and make money. How are you gonna make money, bro? I don't know. I'm gonna just make money. You know what I mean?
Are you going to school?
I'm gonna just make money. You know what I mean? And you see, there's no problem with that mentality.
Because you can get far with that. But it's just, you gotta know that.
But there's some people, there's some really creative people out there that I feel like when they engulf themselves in this mentality, it ruins all their creative things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know how you said you have the artistic talent and all this stuff? So imagine you had amazing artistic talent, like the next Picasso.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know? And you're so up with this hustle mentality, and yeah, I want to make money, I just want to have a nice house, all these nice cars, all this designer, you know, I want to have my family, you know what I mean? That you just basically just throw your talent out the window.
Yeah.
And so you end up chasing a major, you end up chasing a path like a headless chicken. And then later down the road, you're like, damn, what if I kept going with being an artist? You know what I mean? And you do not want to be that person. We're young. We could take all the risks we want.
Go for it.
It's another reason why for this podcast, because I take all the risks. We could take all the risks we want. You never know. This thing could go big. Joe Rogan has been doing his podcast for, I think now it should be 13 years. 13 years. He started off just like, he was just like, I like to talk. What if I just get a microphone and talk?
Exactly.
You know, that's all he did. That's all he did.
If anyone knows us, like, personally, you know, we could talk.
We can talk
forever.
Forever. Like, ever and ever and ever. Like, we could talk till this phone dies and then bring another phone and keep going and then just, I don't know. You get the
point is that we could keep talking till, you know, till... Kid you not, until we die.
Until we die. Until we die. You
And
know
I feel like this podcast is really good for just you and me to think we're gonna get far.
This podcast is gonna be amazing. I hope whoever's listening and whoever's out here, you guys get a certain feeling of the people we really are. Also, whoever's listening to us, I don't want you guys to think of us as the people you guys used to know. This is something I really wanted to make clear before we made the podcast, before anything.
We talked about it.
Yes. The Jose's that you guys used to know, do not exist no more. We are different people. It sounds ignorant, but it's true. It's just truth. Like, you guys, we're so different now.
Like, if you knew me from high school, it's not the same.
You don't know me. You don't know me.
I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna save this one for another episode.
What's that gay quote? You know me, but not my story or something?
Yeah.
It's not that. It's not that gay quote. It's just saying that we're so different now that we do not compare to the people we were in high school and middle school, whatever, in life. So when you listen to this, don't be like, oh yeah, I'm listening to Jose. I'm listening to Jose Franco. I'm listening to Jose Morales. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, the perspective that you have, throw that away when you listen to this.
Just,
we're different.
Act like you're meeting someone new.
Mm-hmm, you're meeting someone new through this. It feels crazy that I'm saying this to a contraption. But you're meeting someone new through this. And throughout the episodes that we make and everything, I want you guys to see the growth. Because there will be growth.
Not only with
recorded
us,
through this. It's crazy.
If you guys start, like, keep listening, or for whoever listens,
whoever
realize in the position you are now. And then if you look back to it, and you're gonna see the difference.
You're gonna see the difference.
And like, I'm not saying it's gonna be right away, but another reason for the podcast.
Another reason.
It's just to really reach out for those.
To reach out for.
Because I know there's people that like to hear people talk, and then maybe something might catch on, and they're like, oh, that really motivated me to start something, or like get up there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's all I want. That's all I want. Like, for my biggest goal in life is to help people.
To help people and just give them a different perspective, and hopefully you guys can achieve big things.
Yeah, that everything's gonna be okay if you really put your mind into it and your heart. Just go for it.
Also, too, anyone who's out there that wants to, like you said earlier in the podcast, to start it off, you were just like, whoever wants to talk to us or anything, just hit us up. And that's so true. Whoever's out there, I don't care if we used to be friends like when we were little kids or something, childhood friends or something, and there's an opinion that you want or something like that. I mean, just something, you know what I mean? Let us know. Or if there's any questions, send them our way. And in a future episode, we could do it, or a Q&A or something. You never know.
Live stream.
Like I told you guys, I mean, I have an Instagram. You have an Instagram. I have
and we actually have our own page for this podcast.
Yeah, we have our own page for the J2J Podcast. It's J2J _podcast. No, production. Okay.
J2J production _production.
J2J _podcast.
But yeah, no. Yes, and then if anything, wherever everything's gonna be down in the description. Or if anything, check out our pages, our normal Facebooks and everything.
Yeah.
Instagram. Just let it, if you know us personally, hit us up.
Hit us up.
And if you want to keep going, keep checking out the podcast because we're going to upload as much as we can.
Follow my Instagram is Franco.kr. But without the A, it's a V. Like on some V-Lone stuff. Yeah, it's kind of gay. I know. I'm kind of realizing it, but it's whatever. But you don't get to just, if this is on YouTube, we'll put everything in the description or something. I don't know.
Pop it up somewhere.
But like
the point is, okay, I'll joke aside though, like for real. But like for real. If you really want to like talk, have questions, or even feel like you want to put your story out there, we got you guys. No, honestly, like if you guys have anything we want to talk about, I don't know. It could be the smallest thing. Like you want a shout out, bro, I'll give you a shout out.
Oh, yeah. A shout out into nothing. Like
shout out
to no listeners, to 0 viewers. But if you want a shout out, bro, hit me up, bro. Yeah. We're not famous, and even if we became famous, I wouldn't care. But it's just fun. It's fun. This is actually fun. Yeah, like people have told me, like, damn, bro, I see your podcast, dude. I wanted to start one too because it seems fun, and bro, it's pretty fun.
It's fun.
It's pretty fun because
you really just get to talk your mind.
You really just get to talk, and it's gonna be crazy to see the people we impact, because we're gonna impact some people that we don't even have a clue of who they are. They could be from India or something. You know what I mean? You never know.
Around the world.
And honestly,
could be
shout out to whoever's out there. Yeah. Shout out to whoever's out there, and shout out.
If it, from here, if this ever pops off or whatever, I really hope we could travel and make this something big.
Yeah, meet and greet at Burger King.
Or just meet up at a parking lot, Brian.
But big shout out to whoever's listening and knows us personally. Yeah, that's crazy. Because I've gotten a few DMs, people telling me how they always wanted to hear what we have to say.
Yeah, there's people
and that is so amazing.
You're doing a podcast. That's really cool.
That's really cool.
Like, it excites me. Like, I remember the first time we posted it, and then the amount of support, the amount of love and support we got from it.
I'm like, bro, you think it's cool? Bro, I think it's cool too, and I'm doing it because I don't know what I'm doing. That's the funny part.
Maybe I'm bored. Maybe I just feel like talking, honestly.
And there'll be and the rest of not all episodes are gonna be like this. Other episodes we could have people on the podcast. The quality of the podcast will get better.
Oh yeah,
way better. Like. Just be patient. Step. We have a lot of things coming in the mail, you know what I mean?
And COVID's not making that.
And COVID's making everything coming late, so...
Welcome to 2020.
Welcome to 2020. And we're doing a podcast off this contraption thing with JD.
And then now we're coming to an end and a wrap up to 2020. And to say, I think we ended it well.
I think we're ending it well. Whoever's watching and hearing, you ended it off well. If you're alive right now, you succeeded. That's success. Every minute that you breathe, that's success right there.
Thanks to
you're alive. Be grateful. We can't be grateful 24/7.
But
that's how humans are.
But if it's possible, take a time
in your day to be grateful.
30 seconds, a minute, and just breathe.
And be grateful.
And be happy that you're here. You may not be in the position you want to be, but at least you're here. And you know you can make better. And then if you fuck up today, there's a new day tomorrow.
Podcast J2J.
And thank you
Jose to Jose. We didn't even finish off what what was this podcast about? How 2020 went?
Wrap up 2020.
Did you think we fulfilled this?
And if you don't think
we didn't fulfill what we were supposed to do, then please tell me. But I don't know what to tell you if you tell me. But just tell me.
No, but yeah. Overall, J2J,
Jose Franco, and Jose Morales. Follow J2J underscore Productions on Instagram.
Hit us
because
we're gonna have our emails, our DMs, and everything.
And this is not just gonna just keep shouting out a lot to say, but you know, also we're not only doing podcasts, so. But that's a
just stay tuned.
Stay tuned. If you don't like the podcast, just stay tuned. You know, there might be other things. You know, 2021 is gonna be a crazy year. So.
And 2020, signing off till 2021.
All right, peace out, y'all.